Hi everyone. Today we are going to create a Visualforce page in each account record to display the opportunity summary so that user can see quickly how many open opportunities, how many won, how many lost, and the total number of opportunities in the account level. Okay, we will add this Visualforce page to Lightning page so it is fully supported in Lightning user experience. So in our Visual Studio Code, we will link with our organization. Okay. If you don't know how to link your Visual Studio Code with your organization, please refer to the previous video. I will put its link in the information bar here, and you can get the full information how to connect Visual Studio Code with your organization. First of all, we are going to create a Visualforce page. We will call it Opportunity Summary. Okay. Page, for example. Okay, and let's remove these lines and save. Also, we will rely on a completely custom controller. We will not use the standard account controller. We will not use extension. We are going to create a completely custom controller. It will be called Opportunity Summary Controller. Okay, let's copy it. And it will be without sharing, just for demonstration. Okay. Now, in our Visualforce page, we will link the page to the custom controller we created. Just type controller and add the controller name. Okay. So what we need from this page is to display opportunity summary as, let's say it can be a paragraph. We can simply create a paragraph here and call it opportunity summary. Okay. I prefer to surround this paragraph in a container div, and we can say style of this container should be text align center. Okay, let's see. As we know, whenever we save the page in Visual Studio Code, it should be transferred to the organization. So if I went to the organization setup and searched for Visualforce pages, I will find the opportunity summary page is here. I can click edit, and this is a very important step to make the Visualforce page available for Lightning. So we can just highlight this option to make it available in Lightning page. In order to make you also aware of why this step is very important, I will show you something. In the account level, if you displayed any account and went to the Lightning page editor, okay, here there is an option to display Visualforce pages. Okay, you can drag and drop it here. Okay, and now there should be there is no the Visualforce page we created is not available as an option here to select, but after saving this, after selecting available for Lightning experience, if we saved this page now and refreshed the Lightning page editor, again add Visualforce page here, you can find it available here. Okay, let's hide the label. Okay, and keep the height, let's say 500 pixel, and save. Okay, I will make this as organization default page and save again. Go back. Now in the account page you will find the Visualforce page we created. It's called Opportunity Summary. I would like to show you something also. We can quickly preview the page from here. So if we open it here, you will find Opportunity Summary paragraph we just created. We might need to make it slightly bigger, so we can say font weight bold, and font size, let's say 14 point. Okay. Let's go back here and refresh the page. Do you see the font size has been increased? Also, in the account page, you will find the font size increased. That's perfect. Now, let's play a little bit with the controller. First of all, I would like to get the number of opens and the number of won, lost, and total number of opportunities. So let's create some public static variables. Okay, and it should be from the type integer. Let's say open count get set. Okay, because we need it inside our Visualforce page, and I will say open, let's say word count, lost count, and total count. Okay. Now, in the initiator of the controller of the Apex class, we can say open count. Let's firstly try to create a list of opportunity equal, let's say open list. Okay, equal select ID from opportunity. This is not enough. Yes, the most important point here is to relate this controller to the account ID. In order to do this, I will declare a string of ID, let's say AID equal apex page dot current page dot get parameters dot get what get, and this must be ID. So this line will return the account ID of where you are, this Visualforce page will be displayed. Okay, so now we stored the ID of the account inside a variable called AID. Now, if I would like to query the opportunities related to this, I can say select ID from opportunity where account ID equal, and I can say AID. And because this is an open list, I can say and is closed equal false. Okay. Now I have a list of open opportunities. Okay. In order to store the size of this list inside the open count, I can directly say open count equal open list dot size. So now the size is returning an integer representing how many IDs, the count of open opportunities, and it will be stored in the variable integer variable open count. I will do the same with won and lost and total. So I will copy this line and paste it 3 times. And for won, I will say is won equal true. And the won count should be won list dot size. Okay, the same with lost list. I will say is closed equal true and is won equal false. This will represent the closed opportunities but not won, so it means it is lost opportunities. Okay, I will say lost count equal lost list dot size. Okay, and for total list, our all opportunities list will be total count like this. Total list dot size, and it should display all opportunities regardless of it is closed or not, if it is won or if it is lost. Okay. So now I saved without problem. There is no problem with my code. Now in the opportunity page, I will go here and create a table. Okay, this is a pure HTML reaction. You can create header and another header. How many header we need? We can go back to our Word Excel. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 5 headers. So you know what, I can copy. So this is the headers I have. I can call this one, let's keep it blank, and this one should be open. Okay, this one should be won, lost, total. Okay, now we created the table header. Let's go and create the first row. The first row should be 5 cells also. So 3, 4, 5. And the value of the first cell should be this value. So it should be displayed as like this. Okay, it's just simple HTML tag. Okay, and the value here inside the second cell in the second row should be the open count. So I can quickly say open count because I am linking this page to this controller. It can read the open count variable, and I will do the same here. Okay, so this one should be won count, and this one should be lost count. This one should be total count. Okay, if we saved our page now, if we return it back to Salesforce and refreshed the Lightning page, here we go. So as you see here, there is 0 open, opportunity 0 won, 0 lost, 0 total. But what if I created, I will quickly create an opportunity here. Okay, and the stage should be anything. Opportunity name test open 1, save. Now if I refresh the page, perfect. So do you see here, the open equal 1 and the total equal 1. Why? Because the open count variable is the size of this list, open list, and the size of this list is closed equal false. This one is still in the prospecting stage, so it is not closed yet. So it returned only one opportunity and it is stored in this variable. What if we created another open opportunity? So test open 2 and 500K, close date this one, stage, let's say this one. This stage is still open. So if we saved, refresh the page, perfect. You see here. Okay, but let's try to make the table more user-friendly. So in our HTML page, the first thing, we can add some style to the table. We can say the width equal 100%, so it will be expanded to the whole page. And we can say border, we can say 1px black solid. Okay, and let's save and see, refresh. Perfect. And let's say also border so that it's applied between the rows and the columns. Adding this styling will allow us to see a column border and row border instead of the table outline border. Yeah, perfect. And we need to make the border collapse also. Border collapse, it will be collapse. Save, refresh. Looks great. And I will show you another way to test quickly. Instead of refreshing the whole account page, we can just copy the account ID, and in this display I can say question mark and add the parameter here, ID equal, and I can specify the ID. So this is how it will look like without loading the whole account page. Okay, now there is something we forgot to add to the Visualforce page. It is very important for lightning styling also. So in the Apex page tag, We can add something called lightning style sheet, and we can say true. If we save the now, the page will be slightly transferred to the lightning fonts and lightning styling. Okay. Now I would like to keep the header tags bold, and I would like to specify a specific background to the header. We can say here, can add a head section in our page, and we can say style, and within style we can add th. Okay, we can say background color for this one, let's say light blue, and the font weight, let's say bold. So any styling here will be applied to any th inside the table, our table. So after saving, refresh, perfect. So now there is a background and the header is bold. Okay, let's try to make the text align inside the column header in the center so that they are all centralized. Okay, perfect. And for the whole table, I can add another thing here called padding. I would like to have an internal padding, for example, 3px. Okay, now refresh again. Nothing happened. Okay, let's try to add it here. Padding 3px. Refresh again. Perfect. So now the header has padding 3px. You can apply the same logic with regular cell td, regular cell inside the table. We can say padding equals 3px. Let's refresh. Do you see? So I think it will be look better also inside the account page itself. Let's refresh the account page. You see? So it looks more modern now. Secondly, I would like to, now if you noticed here, I was going to display the number in this row and the percent, how many. So the percent should represent, for example, in this cell should be open divided by total, percent. And the same here, it should be 1 divided by total percent, So in order to do this, we can quickly go here and copy these 4 variables. You can say open percent, open count percent. Okay, we can add the same here, the same here, the same here. Okay, let's keep it integer. Maybe we need to convert it to decimal later, but for now let's keep it integer. So in order to get the open count percent, I will say open count divided by total count. Okay, and the same I will do with the other 4. Oh, total, maybe we might not need total, but let's keep it for now. It will be 1 count over total count, lost count over total count, and this one should be lost count percent. This will be 1 count percent, and this one should be total count percent. Okay. Now, in order to display these variables in our page, we already declared them here as a public static integer. We can just copy it and go beside the open count. I need to display a parenthesis, and I need to display a value inside this parenthesis. So this is how it should work, like this. Okay, and after the percent, I need to add the percent sign. So let's try and see. Let's try with open first. I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not sure if the integer will work or not, but we can test. So now refresh. Oh, 1%. I think it should be 100%. So we might need to multiply this by 100, you know, multiplied by 100 like this. Let's test. Refresh. Perfect. Let's create one opportunity. Okay, I will create test one opportunity. Any number. Okay, close date, any date. Stage, let's say closed one. Save. Let's refresh now and see how it will look like. So it is displayed as 0% because, you know, it should be 66%. You know what? I prefer to convert it to a decimal, to be honest. So this is not enough. So instead of integer, I will say decimal. And here I will say decimal dot value of the result. No, this result, I think. I would like to make sure there is no problems here. Perfect. So let's refresh now. Same issue. Should be 66%. Let's include the multiplication by 100 here. Refresh. Okay. You know, it looks like we need to convert this also to decimal. Because dividing integer over integer, it will result in integer without decimals, and we don't need this. So the size, as we saw here, is an integer. So this method will return an integer, but now we are trying to store it in decimal. Let's try to save, and I will show you the error message. This will happen here. Do you see here? Incorrect. Value of decimal from the type of the decimal. So in line, oh, sorry. Let's remove this for now. Okay, try to save. Great. So if I try to refresh the Visualforce page now, perfect. You see? So this is my point here. We need to divide decimal over decimal so that we get the result. Because if it is integer over integer, and it will be rounded to 0. You know, now decimal will allow us to see decimal points. Now, after doing this, we can surround this calculation and say set scale, and we can say 2 decimal, for example. Set scale will allow you to, you know, to display 2 decimal only here. So refresh, you see. So this is 66.67%. And you know what? I think we don't need 2, we just need 0. So we need 67%. Now if we refreshed, that's it. So it is so simple and clear. We can apply the same logic here also. So we will copy this, replace with this, replace this, replace this. Okay, and then instead of open, I will say 1. Instead of open, I will say lost. And this should be 100%. I'm not sure why I will display it, but let's see how it will look like. Okay, refresh. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I forget to add this here also. So we need a space, we need a space, we need a space. One. Just change the name of the variable. Here it should be 1 lost and total. Let's check and see. Now the percent of the count has been displayed correctly. That's perfect. Now we can see how it will look like inside the account Lightning page itself. Looks great. Okay. Now we will create a new row to display the amount in dollar. We will create 5 cells. And the first cell should be, we can say amount $% between parentheses. Or we can make it more simpler and remove the amount. It's still saving. We can refresh and see how the page will look like. Perfect. So the second row has been created. Let's start to fill the cells with the data. Okay. I will copy these 8 variables. Okay. And I will change the count to amount. Let's replace the count variable name with amount. So instead of count, I will say amount. Perfect. Now we have the new 8 variables. Let's create the open amount logic. And we can create a list of aggregate result. Let's call it open list amount, for example. It should be equal select sum of the amount and store it in an expression called O amount or open amount, O amount, okay, from opportunity, where account ID equal the AID variable and is closed equal false, because we are trying to get the amount of open opportunities only now. Okay. Now we have the aggregate list, open list amount. We need to assign its value, the value of the expression O amount, to the variable we created, the decimal variable open amount. Okay. Open amount will be equal to open list amount, this list, 0, 0 result. In order to get the value of the expression O amount, we can write .get and enter the value, the expression name here. Okay. Let's try to save and see what will happen. It seems you have 2 errors. The first one is invalid list aggregate. So I don't think it's called list aggregate. I think it's called aggregate result. Let's check quickly on Google to see what should be the apex aggregate result. Yes, it's called aggregate result. So I will just copy it. Let's try to save now. Oh, we have another error. Legal assignment from object, because the aggregate result list returned as an object. So we need to convert it to decimal. We can say decimal.value of the result of this query. Let's save. Still an error. Let's try to cast the decimal using another method. We can say decimal between parentheses and the value we need to get. Perfect. Now we have no errors. Let's try to display the open amount inside our table and see how it will look like. Let's save. Perfect. $8,000. And here for the open amounts, this is 3,000 plus 5,000. The total is 8,000. So it is displayed correctly. Let's create a new opportunity for lost. Okay. We can refresh. Now you can see the lost is 1 and 1 is 1 and the 2 opens. Now let's go back to our controller and replicate the same logic for the 1, lost, and the total. So instead of saying is closed equal, we can say is 1 equal true. And here we can say one amount, and you can replace it here, and one amount here also can be replaced with as well. Okay, and we can say list of 1 list amount, post list amount, and the total list amount. Okay, should be L amount and T amount. Should be T amount, L amount. Okay, and here it should read lost amount and total amount. And here it should be 1 list amount, and this is lost list amount, and this is total list amount. Save, and now we have the 3 types of amount: open amount, won amount, and lost amount, total amount. Let's copy this and paste it here, here, here. 1, lost, total. Save. Let's go to Salesforce and check. Perfect. So we have the 1 opportunity amount and everything is working right now. Now remaining is to calculate the percent of the amount. So in order to do this, we will copy this and paste it here and make slightly changes. So instead of count, replace with amount. Do you see? Okay. Now we replaced any count with amount, so open amount percent should be open amount divided by total amount. You know, this is why it is important to keep your variable names clean. Okay, so you can make your changes quickly. Save. Here I will do the same. I will create space between parentheses. I will say open amount percent. The same here, same here, same here. Here I will say 1 amount percent lost amount percent and the total amount percent. Okay, let's refresh the page now. Here we go. This looks perfect. So $90,000 is equal 6% of 1,390,000. You know, so the calculation is right. We can refresh the page here to make sure everything is working. Perfect. This looks great. And one last thing I can do here. Do you see this wall blank space? I don't think we need them. So we can just edit the page. And we can minimize, you know, decrease the length, the height of this component. Let's say 200 pixel only. I think 200 will be enough. Yeah. So here we go. Save. Go back. Here we go. So as you can see here, whenever I change, so let's say I change this closed lost opportunity to a closed won opportunity. Okay, let's say 1, 2, save. Now refresh. Oh, some error happened. Okay, in order to debug what happened, we can open the developer console. Okay, and just refresh the page, you know, so that the log of the Visualforce page will be stored in our log here. Do you see? So here we go. So I can double click this and I can see where the issue originated, you know. So it seems that the value of lost amount equal null, and because it's equal null, I have an issue here, you know. So I can say here, if the list amount equal null, display 0, you know, because in line, so do you see here in line 50, you know, in line 48, it resulted in an error. You see, fatal error, 1 amount percent. Okay, let's fix this issue. We can go here and do 1 amount. There is an expression. If this one not equal to null, display this one, you know. So otherwise display 0. Save. We have an issue. We forgot the semicolon. Perfect. No error now. I can remove this because this is the criteria I'm checking. So there is no need for it during the criteria, you know, just to keep the code clean. And the same I will do here also. You know, if all amount in the open list amount is not equal to null, display open list amount dot all amount, otherwise display 0. So this is how to avoid null exceptions. and I will copy the same and do it with lost. So lost list amount, lost list amount, and we can say list amount, get list amount, list amount. Okay, and we can do the same with total. Okay, we can say total amount, and the total list amount. Okay, I hope there is no more errors, but let's check. So go back to Salesforce, refresh this page. Perfect. So now whenever there is zero, okay, amount, instead of throwing an error because there is no values in the lost, it will display zero. You know, it will display what? It will display zero. If it is not null, it will display the actual amount, lost amount. Okay, so going back to here to the regular account page, refresh. Okay, you see, so this is zero here, and there is no problem. Okay, I think we display the table correctly, and we might need to add some extra formatting, like lost. We can highlight the lost by red color, you know, so that it is highlighted, it is red color. We can remove the total percent. I don't think there is need for total percent because all of the time it will be 100%, you know, so it doesn't make sense to keep it here. Let's remove this one, and let's remove the total count percent also. Okay, in order to highlight the lost count and lost amount in red color, we can surround the value in a regular span, okay, and add a style to this span called color equal red. Okay, we'll do the same here also. The regular span, add your styling here, color equal red. So going back here, I will create a new test new lost. Okay, amount, let's say 460k, close date, stage equal closed lost, save. So now we should expect 1 here and 460 here. Let's refresh in red color, you know, after adding the styling to this column. So do you see here? It looks fantastic. You know, you can add whatever formatting you prefer, like for the first column here, we can add something to distinguish it also. Like, let's say, for example, this cell, I need it had, let's say, font weight bold and font size. How much we set before font size? Let's keep font size. Okay, we can specify the background color. You know, background color. We can say light blue also, or light orange, pink, orange. Let's say light salmon. Can you check and see? Can copy the same for the second cell for amount. Save. Refresh now. You see, it's not the perfect, but okay. You know, you can play with the styling as you wish, but you got my idea. You know, to be honest, this is so bad color. We can make it slightly light. Yeah, something like this. Okay, copy this. Okay, refresh. Now, looks good. Okay, I hope this is helpful, and a quick recap. To get the count of opportunities we created, we just created a query to select how many, and we get the size of this query and then stored it in the count variable. But to get the amount, we used something called aggregate result and some amount and stored it in an expression. Then in our assignment, we used this expression and they get the value of this expression from the list we created. Then we surrounded it by if statement. This if statement will return 0 if there is no, if the aggregate result was null. So this is how I checked. If the aggregate result is null, return 0, otherwise return the actual result you got, And also I think it is safe to say for open amount, for example, we can precede it by $sign so that it looks more better. Precede the amount by $sign, save, like this, just to make it user friendly. You can play with formatting, and you see here it is displayed correctly in the Lightning page. Again, the most important parameter, the option here you have to check is available for Lightning experience whenever you create. And the another thing, in the Apex page you have to specify this is Lightning style sheet. I can show you how it will look like without Lightning style sheet. It will look like slightly, an old classic page. So I will refresh. Let's make sure it's saved. Okay, it's saving now. Took a lot of time. I will put the video now until saving, and I will get back. Yeah, so let's see how it will look like without the Lightning style sheet. Slightly old, For some reason I don't love this. It will be still available in the Lightning page, but the style is not aligned with, it looks classic, So I will return the Lightning style sheet to true. I just was showing you the difference between this and that. So yeah, you got my idea. And now if we refresh the page, you will find, maybe it's still saving. Yeah, now it's saved. You can just refresh. See, it looks more modern now. One more thing I would like to show you. Now in this equation, if total count equals 0, our code will hit an error. Also total amount equals 0. So what we will do here is to say, for example, if total count not equal or greater than 0, return this one. Okay, otherwise return 0. See my point? So instead of dividing over 0, I will check first if the total count is greater than 0. Okay, if not greater than 0, let's say if not greater than 0, maybe total count. Yeah, for total count this is 0 because this is the size of the list. Size of the list might be 0, so it must be greater than 0 so that we can divide over total count. We'll do the same for other values here. We will add this one here and here and here, and we can add this also to the end of this. That's great. Let's try and test now. I think this account has 0 related opportunities, so let's check. Oh, divide by 0 again, because the total amount line also is divided by 0. So we will replicate the same logic here, but having the total amount. Okay, total amount. the same here, same here, and we can copy this. So this is how it should look like. Save. Perfect. Now if we refresh this page, it should return 0 for all the cells. Perfect. That's perfect. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful, and if you have any question, please don't hesitate to ask me in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for your time,